I'm Cleo Vance, 31, and a stranger just exposed what my best friend did. I am a freelance graphic designer. I live in Portland, Oregon. I work alone from my apartment. I have a gray cat named Beans. He is fat and very lazy. My life was quiet and small. I thought it was fine. Then I went to a wedding. That single night broke my world open. Jess got married downtown. It was an old brick warehouse, the kind with iron rafters. They hung hundreds of string lights. They looked like floating stars. The tables were long and wooden. A sprig of eucalyptus sat on each plate. It smelled like beeswax and wine. The whole room glowed gold. I found my seat in the middle. A woman sat next to me. I had not met her before. She was maybe 42 years old. Dark hair cut short and clean. A simple navy blue dress. She held white wine. She turned and smiled at me. A real smile. The kind you give strangers at a happy event. I sat down and smiled back. At weddings, people warm up fast. Everyone is dressed up. Everyone is feeling soft. It is the easiest place on earth for talking to someone new. Her name was Mara. We chatted for a few minutes about how pretty the bride looked, about the old warehouse venue, about the Portland rain that year. She asked what I did for work. I told her I was a designer. I told her I worked from home. I told her I had been doing it for years. She set her wine glass down. It made a small click. Her face changed slightly. Something flickered behind her eyes. "You're Cleo Vance?" I said yes. I asked if we had met. She shook her head very slowly. "No, we have not met. But I know who you are." She paused. Her voice dropped. "I need to tell you something. And I need you to hear me out. All the way." My stomach went tight. You know that feeling. When the air shifts in a room. When you know something is coming. Something you did not see. "Okay," I said. "I am listening." She pulled out her phone. She unlocked it with her thumb. She tapped a few times. Then she slid it toward me. Across the white tablecloth. The screen glowed in the candlelight. It was a text message thread. At the top was a name I knew. Tessa Merrick. A name I had known since I was 7 years old. Tessa is my best friend. We grew up on the same street. Her house was 3 doors down. We rode bikes together every day. We shared a locker in middle school. We were maids of honor at each other's weddings. When my mother died 6 years ago, Tessa was there in 20 minutes. She held my hand through the funeral. She told me she would always be there. Always. No matter what came. I believed her. For 24 years, I believed her. I looked down at the screen. The message was from Tessa. The recipient was Mara, the woman sitting right next to me at this wedding. Cleo is not in a good place right now. To be honest, I would not trust her with any project. She is going through some kind of breakdown. It is emotional. It has been going on for a while. I am telling you as her closest friend. Find someone else. I really mean it. The date was 18 months ago. I read the words 3 times. They did not change on the 4th read. They just sat there. Black text. White screen. Simple words. Total devastation. "Mara," I said. My voice came out thin. "I do not understand. We have never even spoken before." "I know. I was a client. I found your work online. I loved it. I was about to email you. Then she messaged me out of nowhere." I had never heard her name before. "Keep reading," she said. Her voice was very quiet. I scrolled down. My fingers felt numb. Another message. Earlier date. Different person. Tessa writing to a startup founder. A man I had spoken to exactly once. She is not reliable. Her work looks good, but her personal life leaks through. She misses deadlines. She spirals. I would look elsewhere. At least for now. I scrolled further. She is having another episode. She gets like this every few months. I love her like a sister. But I cannot keep covering for her. More. Another message. I am not saying this to be cruel. I know her better than anyone. She needs real help. Do you really want to take that risk? The wedding went on around us. Someone laughed loudly behind me. A champagne cork popped near the bar. The bride was spinning under the canopy of lights. Everything was golden and warm. Everyone was happy. I sat frozen in the middle of it all, holding a phone that was not mine, reading words my best friend wrote. How many are there? I asked. Mara spoke almost in a whisper. I have found at least 8 so far. Sent over 2 years. To your clients. To people about to hire you. To a property management office. A property manager? She called a leasing office. For a complex you applied to. She told them you were in crisis. She said you might not pay rent. She used the word liability. I put the phone down on the table. I looked at my own hands. They were resting on the cloth. Pale and very still. They looked like someone else's hands. I thought about my apartment. The cramped one. The one with a single window. That window faced a brick wall. I paid too much for it. I had applied for better places. 3 of them. Over 2 years. Every single one was rejected. The agents always said the same thing. Something did not check out. They never told me what. I blamed my credit score. I blamed myself. I remember the second rejection clearly. It was a studio on Hawthorne. Big windows facing east. Morning light. A clawfoot tub. I wanted it so badly I could taste it. The agent called me 2 days later. Denied. No reason given. I cried on my kitchen floor that night. I really did. I thought about Marcus. I met him at a coffee shop. On Division Street last spring. He was grading papers at the corner table. Red pen. Reading glasses. I asked what he taught. Biology. 10th grade. He had the kindest brown eyes. His laugh was terrible. Like a car engine failing to start. I loved it immediately. We went out 3 times. Once for pizza. Once for a hike in Forest Park. Once for drinks that turned into 4 hours of talking. On the 3rd date, he kissed me. In the rain. Outside a taco truck. Lime and salt on his lips. He pulled back and smiled. He said he really wanted to see me again. He said it twice. 2 days later, he vanished. No texts. No calls. Just gone. Like I had been erased. Tessa told me she ran into him. At that same coffee shop. We had a nice chat, she said. I told him to be good to you. I thought she was watching out for me. I felt so grateful. I remember texting her back. A heart emoji. You are the best friend anyone could ask for. Those were my exact words. I typed them with my own thumbs. She was not watching out for me. I thought about the biggest client. A local coffee chain called Roast. 5 locations across the city. They wanted a full rebrand. New logo. New cups. New signage. The kind of contract that would cover a year of rent. Health insurance. Actual savings. We had 3 meetings. The owners were a married couple. Greg and Tina. They loved my concepts. They said my work felt like theirs. Warm and modern and real. We were 3 days from signing. Greg shook my hand. Tina hugged me. I walked out of that meeting floating. 3 days later, the email came. We have decided to go a different direction. No reason. No feedback. Not even a phone call. I read that email 20 times. Maybe more. I stayed up nights after that, redoing my portfolio, changing every color palette, every font choice, trying to find the flaw I must have missed, telling myself I was not good enough, telling myself I needed to try harder. There was no flaw. It was never about my work. It was Tessa. Every single time. The pattern was so clear now. I could not believe I had missed it. Every success I had was met with concern. Every failure was met with sympathy. She was never celebrating me. She was never grieving with me. She was managing me, curating my life so I would always orbit around her, like a moon around a planet, never escaping her gravity. I thought about all the years before these two. High school, college, our 20s. Had it always been this way? I remembered her face when I got into art school. She was happy for me. But she also said, "Are you sure you want to move that far away?" I remembered her reaction when I started my freelance business. Supportive. But also, it is so unstable. What if it does not work? Every milestone had a shadow. Every achievement came with a whisper. Are you sure? Is this safe? Do you really think you can? I had always thought that was love. That was what caring looked like. Now I knew better. Caring does not clip your wings. Caring lets you fly. Cleo? Mara's voice reached me. Are you okay? I slid the phone back to her. My hands were shaking. But not from anger. Anger is a hot thing. This was cold. The kind of cold you feel in February, when you step outside and the air hits your skin. Thank you for telling me, I said. My voice was steady. I still do not know how. Mara looked at me with old guilt. I should have told you months ago. But she was so convincing on the phone. She said you were fragile. She said you were getting over a bad divorce. She said she was trying to protect you. I have never been married. Mara closed her eyes. I know that now. There are others, she said after a pause. People she warned away from you. I talked to 2 of them. We compared notes. That is how I saw the pattern. I can give you their numbers. Will you talk to them? I told her yes. Then I stood up. I walked past the dancing, past the laughter. I found the bathroom. I locked the stall door. I sat on the toilet lid. I turned on the faucet. The sound of water covered everything. I sat there for 10 minutes, staring at the tile wall, just breathing. I thought about every phone call, every coffee date, every time I lost something good. And Tessa was the first to call. I heard, "Sweetie, are you okay?" Her voice was so warm. Every single time. She never said she was proud. She never said congratulations. She always said she was worried. And I thought that meant love. When I came out of the bathroom, the couple was cutting the cake. Tessa was not at the wedding. She had said she had a work event. The truth was she was never invited. Jess barely knew her. Tessa made an excuse. Now I understood why. Mara would be here. Tessa could not risk being seen. The wedding ended around 11. I walked home. Portland drizzle. Thin and cold. I did not open my umbrella. I got to my door. I took off my wet shoes. I sat on the floor, my back against the couch. Beans patted over. He pressed his head to my knee. He purred. He does not know what betrayal is. He just knows I am on the floor at midnight. And floor means lap. I opened my phone. I opened my thread with Tessa. 2 years of messages. I started scrolling. Not from the start. From every message wrapped in concern. I read all night. The whole night. Page after page of messages. I heard you got that account. Great. But are you sleeping enough? I worry when you push so hard. I walked past your workspace today. Did not see you there. Are you resting? Promise me. That new client sounds exciting. But are you sure you are ready? Remember last time? You crashed so hard after. I just hate watching you burn out. Someone said you mentioned me at a party. It was probably nothing. But stress makes people think strange things. It is okay. I am not upset. One message after another. Dozens of them. I started taking notes. Paper and pen on the floor next to me. Every time she said she was worried. Every time she said I was fragile. Every time she said she loved me. The words blurred together after a while. The same pattern over and over. Build me up just enough. Then remind me I was broken. Then promise she was the only one who understood. I found a message from 2 summers ago. I had just landed a small branding gig. I was so proud. I texted her the news. Her reply came in under a minute. That is so great, sweetie. But are you sure you can handle it? I worry about you taking on too much. No period of celebration. No window of joy. Just the worry. Always immediately. Always the worry. And I believed all of it. Every word. I let her version of me become real. Somewhere around 3 in the morning, I found a message that made me stop scrolling. It was from about a year ago, right after I lost the coffee chain project. I had texted Tessa. I was devastated. I said I felt like a failure. Like I was not cut out for this. Like maybe I should give up freelancing. Her reply was immediate. Oh, sweetie. I am so sorry. This is what I have been worried about. The freelance life is so unstable. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe you should look for something safer. Something with less pressure. You know I will support you no matter what. She was not comforting me. She was steering me. Every failure was an opening. Every crisis was a chance to push me closer to her. Closer to dependence. Closer to being the fragile friend she needed me to be. I had almost listened to her. After the coffee chain fell through, I spent 2 weeks looking at full-time job listings. Office manager. Administrative assistant. Things I did not want. Things I was overqualified for. Things that would have made me smaller. I almost sent out applications. I had the cover letter drafted. The only thing that stopped me was a small project that came through from an old client. Just a logo refresh. $500. But it saved me. It reminded me I could do this. I was good at this. Tessa never asked about that project. She never celebrated it. She only asked if I was still looking at more stable options. I found one exchange from last winter. I had landed a dream project. A tea company. Woman-owned. Portland-based. I was over the moon. I texted Tessa right away. She replied fast. That is amazing, sweetie. So proud of you. That was it. No worry. No warning. I checked the dates later. 2 weeks after that text, the client vanished. No reason. Just gone. 14 days. That is how long it took her. To find them. To warn them. To close that door. Dawn came gray through my window. The cat was asleep on my feet. I stood up from the floor. My whole body ached. I went to the kitchen. I filled the kettle. I watched the water boil. Bubbles rising from the bottom. Breaking the surface. I thought about all the times I had doubted myself. My skill. My judgment. My sanity. Every failure felt like confirmation. Confirmation that she was right about me. That I was broken. I never doubted her. Not once. In 24 years. I never let myself ask the question. The kettle clicked off. I poured hot water over a tea bag. I watched the color bleed into the cup. Then I picked up my phone. I did not text Tessa. I texted Mara. Send me those numbers. And the leasing office name. She replied in seconds. What are you going to do? I stared at the screen. Then I typed my answer. I am going to do what I should have done. The 2 weeks that followed were very quiet. I did only one thing. But I did it slowly. I did it with care. I did not rush. I called Denise first. She owned a small skincare brand. She had wanted a full rebrand. We had 2 great calls. She loved my concepts. She was ready to sign. Then she talked to Tessa on the phone. After that, she backed out. Denise told me everything. She painted a picture of you. Very clear. She said you cycled through breakdowns. Every few months like clockwork. She said you were brilliant for weeks. Then you vanished. She sounded so sincere. I truly thought I was protecting my business. I sent her my project list. 2 years of work. Every deadline met. Every client review. 5 stars across the board. She was quiet for a long time after she opened it. She described someone else, she said. Not you. Why would your own friend do this? I did not have the full answer yet. But I was getting closer. I was starting to see the shape of it. Tessa needed me to fail. Not completely. Just enough. Enough to keep me within reach. The second person was Alan. He owned 2 restaurants. In the Hawthorne district. Tacos and burgers. Good food. Good people. He wanted new menus. A fresh logo. Something modern and warm. Tessa found him on Instagram. She sent him a message out of the blue. As her oldest friend, I feel I should warn you. She told him I was bipolar. She used that exact phrase. She said I was good when stable. But I had not been stable. Not for a long time. She said she hoped I would get help. Alan forwarded me the whole thread. I read it at my kitchen table. Beans in my lap. Tessa's words on the screen. Alan had written back to her. Thank you. I really appreciate the warning. He had thanked her. For destroying me. At the top of his forward, he added a note. I believed her completely. I thought I was lucky to be warned. I am so deeply sorry. We talked for almost an hour. He told me about his restaurants. His struggle during the pandemic. His pride in his menu. He had built everything from scratch. And he almost did not hire me. Because a stranger sent him a message. He kept apologizing. Over and over. I told him he did not need to. Tessa was the one who should be sorry. Not him. That call with Alan shifted something in me. I had been collecting evidence for myself. For my own understanding. But now I saw the bigger picture. Tessa had not just hurt me. She had used other people without their knowledge. She turned decent strangers into her tools. Alan was a good man. He just wanted nice menus. And she made him a weapon. The third was Ben. The science teacher. I sent him one text. I need to talk. Not about us. About Tessa. Can we meet? He took a full day to respond. I understood. He probably thought I wanted closure. Or another chance. I did not want either. 3 days later, he sat across from me. Same coffee shop on Division. He held a cold mug. He barely looked up. She told me your last relationship ended badly. She said you never recovered. She said you had episodes. She said you called people in the night. She said you were not ready to date. Did you believe her? He finally looked at me. His eyes were wet at the edges. She sounded like she loved you. Like she was protecting us both. She said I would be a good influence. She said I could help you heal. Then she said the kindest thing was to step back. She was not worried about me, Ben. She was scared I might be happy. He pulled out his phone. He showed me 7 texts from Tessa. Every one gentle. Every one caring. everyone pushing him away, without ever sounding like that was what she was doing. I just do not want to see you get hurt. She is a great person, but she is in a fragile place. The kindest thing is to give her space. Please do not tell her I reached out. She would be so embarrassed. I took screenshots of all of them. I asked Ben if I could keep them. He nodded slowly. He looked like a man who just learned he was a pawn. Then I tracked down the leasing office. The complex on Belmont. The one with big windows. Built-in bookshelves. I had wanted it so badly. I had planned where my desk would go. I called the office. A woman named Elena answered. She was the assistant manager. Yes, she remembered. She remembered the call. A woman phoned about a Cleo Vance. The woman said she was a friend. A concerned friend. She said Cleo was unstable. She said there had been incidents. She used words like liability, property damage, unpredictable. We flagged your file, Elena said. We should have verified. We did not. I am sorry. I hung up the phone. I sat at my kitchen table. I stared at the brick wall outside. The wall I looked at every day. For 2 years. Because of one phone call. These discoveries should have broken me. They did not. The wedding night was the shattering. What came after was different. It was calm and slow. Every morning I got up. I made Earl Grey tea. I sat at my desk. Beans curled on the chair beside me. I opened the folder on my laptop. The folder was called Record. I added things every day. Each call left me exhausted, but also lighter. Every person I spoke to was another piece of the puzzle clicking into place. I was not just gathering evidence against Tessa. I was gathering evidence for myself. Proof that I was not crazy. Proof that I was not incompetent. Proof that the past 2 years were not my fault. I started sleeping better. The first week after the wedding, I barely slept at all. My mind kept racing, replaying every conversation, every lost client, every missed chance. But once I started calling people, once I started building the record, the racing stopped. I had a task now, a purpose. I was not just a victim anymore. I was doing something. Screenshots of texts, forwarded emails, notes from phone calls. Mara sent me a recording. Her original call with Tessa. She had kept it on her phone. For over a year. She did not know why. She just had a feeling. I did not contact Tessa. Not one text. Not one call. She had no idea what I was building. I wanted her to keep acting like herself. On the 12th day after the wedding, she called me. I almost let it ring. Then I thought about it. If I did not answer, she would know. She was too sharp for that. She could feel any shift. So I picked up. Her voice was honey. Exactly the same as always. Warm and soft and sweet. Hey, sweetie. It has been a minute. I feel like I have not heard your voice in forever. How was the wedding? Fine. Just fine? That is not like you. You love weddings. You always cry at the vows. I did not cry at this one. A tiny pause. Barely there. But I heard it. You sound tired. Is work okay? You know I worry about you. I held the phone to my ear. I looked at my laptop screen. The record folder. 23 files. And growing. I am fine, Tessa. Really. A longer pause this time. 2 seconds. 3. Are you sure? You seem different lately. A little distant. Did something happen? You can tell me anything. You know that. Nothing happened. I am just busy. Some new projects. Well, okay. Her voice tightened. Just a little. Let us get dinner soon. It has been way too long. I miss your face. Sure. That sounds good. I hung up. That night my phone buzzed. A text from Tessa. A long block of words. I do not know what is going on between us. I feel you drifting away. And it is breaking my heart. You have been my best friend for my whole life. If I hurt you without knowing it, please tell me. We can work through anything. You mean too much to me. The old Cleo would have replied in seconds. She would have apologized. She would have said it was nothing. She would have ended up comforting Tessa. Again and again and again. I read the message twice. Then I turned my phone off. I put it face down on the nightstand. I turned off the lamp. I lay in the dark. Beans was on my chest. His weight was warm and steady. I fell asleep in minutes. The next morning, Sarah called. Sarah is one of my oldest friends. After Tessa. We met in college. She is a landscape architect. She designs parks. She is kind. She is thoughtful. She trusts people too easily. The perfect person for Tessa to target. Cleo, she said. Can I ask you something? Of course. Tessa called me last night. She was really upset. She said you have been struggling. She said you are making accusations. Against her. Things that are not real. She said you might be having a breakdown. I closed my eyes. Of course. This was the backup plan. If Cleo does not come running back, pivot. Get out ahead. Plant the seeds in every friend. Make sure everyone hears it from Tessa first. Sarah, I said. Can you come to my apartment? I have things to show you. She came that afternoon. She brought pastries from the bakery. She always brings pastries. She sat on my couch. Beans jumped into her lap. He has no loyalty. I opened my laptop. I turned the screen toward her. She read Mara's screenshots. Her hand stopped moving on Beans. She read Denise's testimony. The croissant went cold on the table. She read Alan's thread. Her breathing changed. She read Ben's 7 messages. She read the notes from the leasing office. When she finished, she pushed the laptop away. Her face was gray. I know that number, she whispered. But Cleo, I have to tell you something. Last year, around November, Tessa told me you were talking behind my back. She said you were jealous of my job. She said you always needed to be the best. I did not want to believe her. But I pulled away. I was distant. I stopped inviting you places. I felt it. She looked up. Tears were running down her face. She did it to me too. She used me. I was one of her threads. I sat next to her on the couch. I held her hand. I did not say it was okay. It was not okay. But it was not Sarah's fault. Tessa's lies sounded like caring. Nobody questions caring. After Sarah left, the others came. Jess texted me a few days later. She is direct. She does not dance around. I am hearing weird things. I want to hear it from you. I showed her the folder. 2 more friends reached out. They found me on their own. Because Tessa had spread too wide. She told 5 people I was unraveling. Each got a slightly different story, tailored to what would work. And the 5 people started talking. Comparing notes. Wait. She told you Cleo was jealous. She told me Cleo was unstable. She told him Cleo had a breakdown. 3 different stories. None of them match. That is how lies collapse. You do not need to tear them apart. You do not need to fight them. You just stop holding them together. The weight of their own contradictions handles the rest. I still had not faced Tessa. 3 weeks since the wedding. 3 weeks of silence from me. 3 weeks of her texts getting more urgent. Some warm. Some wounded. All designed to pull me back in. I did not take the bait. I was waiting. Jess's birthday dinner. 3 weeks after the wedding. 8 friends at a restaurant. A long table in the back garden. Olive trees in clay pots. String lights in the branches. Candles in glass jars. The night was warm. A rare, clear Portland evening. Tessa was there. She sat across from me. She wore an ivory linen dress. Her hair was fresh from the salon. She looked perfect. She always did. That was part of her toolkit. She did not look at me directly. Not for the first hour. Instead, she performed. Every 10 minutes or so, she would drop a comment. Soft. Gentle. Aimed at the whole table. Cleo, sweetie, you're so quiet tonight. Are you feeling okay? I worry about you in that little apartment. Do you see anyone? That thing you mentioned. The thing bothering you. Did it ever get better? Every question was a brushstroke. She was painting a portrait. Look at fragile Cleo. Look at caring Tessa. What a good friend. The pasta plates were cleared. Dessert was coming. Tiramisu and panna cotta. Wine glasses were nearly empty. People felt full and warm. Someone told a camping story. Someone laughed about a boss. The candles had burned halfway down. Then a girl named Nicole spoke. She was young. 25 maybe. She was one of Tessa's friends. Nice. A little naive. She turned to me with kind eyes. Tessa mentioned you have been struggling lately. Is everything okay? Is it work stuff? The table went quiet. Just a few people. The ones who mattered. Tessa did not look at Nicole. She looked at me. There was something at the edge of her mouth. A tiny curve. Almost satisfaction. I set down my fork. I had not planned the exact words. I did not need to. I had 23 files of truth. The truth does not need rehearsal. It just waits. Nicole, I said. My voice was calm. It was the calmest I had felt in weeks. Over the past 2 years, Tessa has sent messages to my clients. To people who might have hired me. To my landlord. To someone I was dating. At least 15 messages. She told all of them the same thing. That I am unstable. That I have breakdowns. That I cannot be trusted. I have proof of every single one. The silence was total. Forks stopped in midair. Glasses were set down slowly. From the next garden over, laughter drifted in. Their world kept spinning. Ours stopped. Tessa's face went white. Not embarrassed pink. Not angry red. White. Paper white. The color of someone watching their whole world crack. If anyone wants to see the evidence, I am happy to share. I have screenshots. I have testimony. I have voice recordings. The timeline covers 18 months. You can judge for yourselves. Tessa stood partway up. Then sat again. She did not know what to do. Her voice came out high and brittle. You are making this up. This is exactly what I feared. The paranoia. The twisting. She has not been well. I have been so worried. This is what happens when she spirals. I pulled my phone from my bag. I opened the record folder. I set the phone on the table. I slid it toward her. It stopped beside her wine glass. These are your words, Tessa. To Mara. To Alan. To Ben. To the leasing office. Do you want me to read them out loud? She stared at the screen. She knew her own texts. Her own voice. For a long moment, her face was empty. Completely empty. Like a stage after the show. I was just trying to protect you, she said. Her voice was small now. You were struggling. Anyone could see it. You were not protecting me. You were pulling up my floor. Board by board. Then asking why I could not stand. No one moved. Candle flames flickered. Kitchen sounds drifted in. Nicole stared at Tessa. Her face held something worse than anger. Recognition. Tessa stood. Her chair scraped stone. She grabbed her purse. She walked out through the gate, her heels on pavement. Then nothing. Her wine stayed on the table. Half a glass. Red and still. Nobody touched it. Jess broke the silence. Very quiet. Has she always been like this? Sarah answered. Yes. We just did not see. A few weeks after the dinner, I ran into Nicole at a coffee shop. She was by herself, reading a book in the corner. I almost walked past. Then she looked up and waved me over. We talked for almost an hour. She told me Tessa had been managing her too, telling her who to trust, who to avoid, feeding her stories about other friends. She made my world very small, Nicole said. She made sure the only person I really trusted was her. That way I would never compare notes with anyone else. She asked me how I was doing. I said I was okay. I said I was better every day. She nodded like she understood. I think she really did. I unfollowed her on everything, Nicole said. And then I just sat there, waiting for something bad to happen, for her to retaliate. But nothing came. She just disappeared into Seattle. And my life got bigger. Almost immediately. I knew that feeling. The expansion. The way the room gets larger when the person who is taking up all the air finally leaves. I walked home under a clear sky. Stars. That never happens here. Jasmine from a fence. Warm pavement. I felt no triumph. No rush. Just lightness. Like putting down a pack you forgot you were carrying. You do not feel stronger when you set it down. You just feel the absence. And that absence is everything. I got home around midnight. Beans was at the door. He meowed like I had been gone for years. I fed him. I made a cup of tea. I sat on my couch in the dark. No TV. No music. Just breathing. Just letting it sink in. The stillness. The knowledge that I would never again brace myself for her next act of concern. The ripples spread. Nicole sent a long apology. She wrote paragraphs. She said Tessa had been managing her for 2 years, telling her who to trust, who to avoid. Every act of care was a deposit, she wrote. I was just another account. She never cared about me. She cared about what I could be used for. Jess said 5 people unfollowed Tessa that week. No statements. No drama. Just silence. Unfollows. Unreturned texts. Silence is heavier than noise. You cannot argue with silence. Sarah said it best. Over coffee weeks later, she stirred honey into her latte. She looked up. Tessa built a web, she said. Not a lie. A web. Every person was a strand. You did not tear it down. You turned on a light. Suddenly everyone saw the threads. They saw where they were stuck. I thought about that image for days. The web and the light. It was exactly right. I did not go to war with Tessa. I did not fight her. I did not try to become her mirror. Building my own web. Spinning my own threads. I did not want that. I just wanted to be free. I kept working. Life did not become a movie. Portland stayed gray. Rain kept falling. Beans stayed fat. But small things shifted. One Tuesday my phone rang. An unknown number. I am Rachel. Is this Cleo Vance? Rachel owned a clothing label. Linen dresses. Organic basics. She needed a full brand. Mara gave her my name. Tessa messaged me on LinkedIn, Rachel said. She warned me about you. She said you were unreliable. I thought about it for 2 days. Then I looked at your work. It is excellent. I want to hire you. I nearly laughed. Tessa spent 2 years closing doors. The door that opened was pushed by a stranger. A stranger who used her own eyes. Rachel became my best client. She referred 3 others. Not from pity, from respect. My work was always good. I just needed one door. I learned things. Big, slow things. Trust is not about years. It is about actions. Someone can know you forever and quietly dismantle you. Someone you met an hour ago can hand you the truth. Across a table. At a wedding. The betrayal was not one moment. It was hundreds. Tiny cuts over time. Each too small to notice alone. Together they made a wall. I walked into that wall for 2 years. Not knowing what I kept hitting. Once you see the wall, you choose. Scream at it. Tear it down. Hit back. Or step around it. Keep walking. Stop keeping their secrets. Mara is my friend now. Not like Tessa. That kind of trust may never return. What we have is simpler. Built on one true moment. She told me what she knew. She told me later. She almost stayed home that night. 6 months of guilt. 6 months of almost. She was scared I would not believe her. Scared I would defend Tessa. But she came. Navy dress. Drive across town. She found her seat. She pushed her phone across the cloth. 15 minutes. She changed my life. I asked her once, "Why did you finally speak?" She thought about it. I was tired. So tired of carrying her lie. It was heavy. I wanted to put it down. I get that now. Sometimes you do right not from courage. From exhaustion. You cannot hold their poison anymore. Tessa lives in Seattle now. Someone said so at a party. I did not follow up. I do not hate her. I do not wish her well. I think about her sometimes. Not with anger. With clarity. She needed me beneath her. That was our deal. She was the strong one. I was the broken one. Her whole self was built on that. When I started standing, her role vanished. So she made a new one. She made sure I would always need her. By making sure I always failed. She almost won. For 2 years, she won completely. I doubted my talent. My sanity. My worth. Every failure felt like her being right. But she made one mistake. She could not stop. More threads. More warnings. The web got too big. 2 threads touched. Mara talked to Denise. Denise talked to Alan. Contradictions showed. The whole thing zagged. You cannot guard every angle. Lies need constant work. Truth needs nothing. It waits. Solid. Patient. Inevitable. This is not revenge. Revenge wants harm. I did not want to harm Tessa. I wanted her to stop. The fastest way to stop her was to stop helping her build. I am 31 now. My apartment faces west. Afternoon sun fills the room. Bean sprawls in the gold patch. It is a small thing. A window. Light. But after 2 years of brick, it is everything. My business is steady. I love that word. Steady means safe. Steady means real. Steady means no one is under my floor. With a hammer. I trust my own judgment now. That took time. It did not come back all at once. For months after that dinner, I still heard her voice. In my head. Every time a client said yes. Every time something went well. A whisper in the back of my mind. Are you sure you can handle this? Maybe you are pushing too hard. Maybe you should slow down. I had to learn to answer back. Out loud sometimes. Yes. I can handle this. I am not fragile. I was never fragile. She needed me to think I was. There is a difference. I started saying yes to things. Small ones at first. Coffee with a new friend. A project slightly outside my comfort zone. A weekend trip to the coast by myself. Each yes was a brick. I was rebuilding. Not the life Tessa had tried to take apart. A new one. one I built with my own hands, one where I decide what is real. I am single. That is fine. Maybe someday I will meet someone who makes his own choices, someone who will not need a concerned friend to warn him about me. But I am not in a hurry. I spent 2 years managed by someone else. Now I manage myself. Every morning I wake up. I make tea. I sit at my desk. I open my laptop and I decide what happens next. Nobody else gets a vote. That freedom is still new. It still surprises me. I want to say one more thing. About friendship. About what it actually is. I used to think friendship was time. Years stacked on years. History. Shared memories. By that measure, Tessa was the best friend I ever had. 24 years of history. Thousands of shared memories. But history is not the same thing as loyalty. And memories can be curated, edited, framed to serve a narrative you did not consent to. Real friendship is not about how long you have known someone. It is about what they do when you are not looking. It is about whether they celebrate your wins or quietly dismantle them. It is about whether their concern lifts you up or holds you down. It is about actions. Concrete actions. The things people do when they think no one is watching. Mara knew me for 45 minutes when she told me the truth. 45 minutes versus 24 years. And in those 45 minutes, she did more for me than Tessa did in a quarter-century. That is not a sad fact. It is a clarifying one. So if you are wondering about someone in your life, do not count the years. Look at the actions. The pattern will tell you everything you need to know. If this story feels familiar, I have one question. Just one. Do you have a Tessa? Someone who always seems so caring. But you feel smaller. After every talk, ask yourself, is she helping you stand? Or making sure you still need her hand? It is a hard question. A stranger at a wedding made me ask it. I dodged it for 24 years. But once you hear the answer, you cannot go back. And once you know, you start. You put your floor back. Board by board. One at a time. Slow and careful. Until you're standing. On your own feet. On solid ground. With no one underneath. I still think about Mara sometimes. About that moment. Her phone sliding toward me. The candlelight on the screen. She did not know me. She owed me nothing. She could have stayed quiet. She almost did. 6 whole months she carried it. 6 months of knowing. 6 months of telling herself it was not her place. Then she put on a navy dress. She drove across town. She sat beside a stranger. She changed my life. I asked her once why she finally spoke. We were having lunch. Months after everything. She set down her fork. She thought about it for a long time. I was tired, she said. So tired. Carrying someone else's secret. It was heavy. I just wanted to set it down. That is the thing about truth. It is heavy to carry. But it is heavier when it is not yours. Mara was carrying Tessa's lie. For 6 months. The weight of it was crushing her. The moment she pushed that phone across the table, she set it down. She was free. I understand that now. Better than I wish I did. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if she had stayed home. If Tessa had been a little more careful. If the threads had never touched. I would still be in that dark apartment. Still blaming my credit score. Still wondering why everyone kept leaving. Still believing I was the problem. But she did not stay home. And now I am here. In a bright apartment. With a fat cat. With work I am proud of. With the knowledge that I am not what Tessa said I was. I never was. That is the gift Mara gave me. Not revenge. Not justice. Just the truth. She handed it to me across a dinner table. She let me decide what to do with it. I decided to stop carrying Tessa's secrets. If you are listening to this and you recognize something, I hope you ask the question. The one I avoided for 24 years. Is she helping you stand? Or does she need you to keep falling? It is hard to ask. Harder to answer. But after the answer, everything gets lighter. I promise. I am grateful now. Not for what Tessa did. Never for that. But for what came after. The strangers who became friends. The truth that finally had room to breathe. The quiet power of simply not participating in a lie anymore. Mara and I get coffee sometimes. We do not talk about Tessa much. We do not need to. We talk about work. About her garden. About my cat. Ordinary things. Peaceful things. The kind of things you talk about when you are not being managed by someone else. The kind of things you talk about when you are free. The months after that dinner were not always easy. Some days I missed her. I know that sounds strange. After everything she did. But grief is not logical. I grieve the friend I thought I had. The 7-year-old on a bike. The 12-year-old sharing a locker. The 24-year-old holding my hand at a funeral. That person never existed. Not the way I believed. But I still had to mourn her. Other days I felt nothing but relief. The relief of silence. Of not having to explain myself. Of not having my successes questioned. Of not bracing for the next concerned phone call. The relief of a life without surveillance. I also felt anger sometimes. That surprised me. I am not an angry person. But some nights I would lie awake and feel it. Hot and sharp in my chest. 2 years. She took 2 years from me. 2 years of my career. 2 years of potential relationships. 2 years of believing I was broken. I will never get those years back. That is a real loss. I had to let myself feel it. But anger was never where I stayed. It was a station I passed through. Not my destination. My destination was something quieter. Something I had never really had before. Peace. The peace of knowing the truth. The peace of standing on my own. I do not know if I will ever trust someone the way I trusted Tessa. Part of me hopes I will. Part of me thinks that kind of trust was only possible because I was young and she was skilled. Maybe adult trust looks different. Maybe it is slower. More careful. Maybe it is built on evidence instead of time. That would not be a bad thing. What I do know is this. I am not afraid anymore. I used to be afraid of failing. Afraid of being alone. Afraid that Tessa was right about me. I am not afraid of any of that now. I failed plenty. I survived all of it. I was alone and I built a good life anyway. And Tessa was never right about me. She was right about herself. She told the story she needed to believe. But I do not have to live inside her story anymore. I live inside my own now. Some people have asked me if I would ever confront Tessa again. If I would want an apology. If I would want closure. I have thought about this a lot. My answer is no. I do not need her apology. I do not need her to understand what she did. I do not need a final conversation. Whatever she would say, it would be another performance. Another version of the truth edited to serve her. I have had enough of her versions. My closure came the night I set down my fork at that dinner table. My closure came when I stopped keeping her secrets. My closure is this life I have now. It does not need her signature to be valid. I keep a small framed print on my desk now. It is a quote from a writer I like. It says, "The truth will set you free. But first it will make you miserable." I looked at that print every day for the first year after the dinner. The miserable part was the wedding night. And the weeks after. And the months of hearing her voice in my head. But the free part came too. Slowly. Patiently. Like water wearing down stone. I am free now. Not free from the memory. Not free from the scars. But free from her. Free from the version of myself she needed me to be. That is worth everything. My name is Cleo Vance. This is my story.